Today we're going from Punta Gorda to Arkansas, ASG. According to ForeFlight, we have 19 knot headwinds and it's going to require 147 gallons. Well, the Baron only holds 136 gallons. So today we're going to be pushing the Baron to her limits.
And we're down to 10.5 gallons a side. That's going to get us our destination with 2 gallons a side. Still not enough.
Baron 3175 Whiskey, Punta Gorda ground. Good morning. You're cleared to Alpha Sierra Golf Airport via as filed. Maintain 2000. Expect 6000. 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 127.05 and squawk 3640.
Ground, Baron 3175 Whiskey, 200 hangars ready to taxi.
Baron 3175 Whiskey, Punta Gorda ground. Taxi via Foxtrot. Hold short of Delta. We've got an Airbus pushback.
Taxi via Foxtrot. Hold short of Delta for San Jose. Oh, there's the Airbus.
You're an Airbus.
Yeah, I am. No point in rushing right now. Not going anywhere. So we've got a lot to talk about today. We are trying to extend the range of the Baron. That's not something you just take lightly. You can't just fly. So we'll talk about that, altitudes, power settings, and what we're doing in efforts to extend the range to make this flight. Now this flight's not only going to test the limits of the Baron,
fuel track 7 at air track, request action.
But it's going to test our limits as well, because now the endurance is going to go up, and I haven't really told Kim how long this flight's going to be, so we'll just wait till the end and he'll discover how long this flight is going to be. But in addition to that, we also got a whole lot of upgrades. The whole reason why we're going to ASG is to go to A&J Aviation, one of the top avionics shops in the country. And so we got some upgrades coming. We're going to talk about that once we get in the air as well.
How much longer?
I'm going to go to ground, airport 3 at the
Yeah,
FBO.
you didn't hear me saying that this time.
Yeah. Air text is on. I thought we were going to kind of get a little bit better view of taxiing out with the Airbus, but
We don't want to get any closer than we have to. Now, I don't need to be this far. This is ridiculous how far I am, but my attitude is, at this point, I'm trying to savor every ounce of fuel we have for this flight.
that was my concept of it.
So there's no point in me. I'm just letting it go, letting the wind push us. Actually, because I'm back to idle.
I'm just thinking.
And because he's going to be there when we get there anyways, or even if he's not, we're going to wait a second for him to take off, and we still got to do our run-up. So.
Baron 3175 Whiskey, Punta Gorda tower, runway 4, turn left 020, clear for takeoff.
Left 020, clear for takeoff, San Jose. Alright, we are clear right. We are clear left. The Legion plane is way over there. 020 actually puts us straight to Rogan, our first waypoint.
Approaching runway 04.
There you can see 4 right there, and this is indeed 4. Fuel flow. Airspeed is alive. 84 knots. Positive rate. Gear up. feet.
Baron 3175 Whiskey, contact Fort Myers departure. Have a good flight, Chris.
Have a departure, good day. Thanks for, see you soon. You threw me off with that.
I was like, wait, hold on, what?
Fort Myers, Baron 3175 Whiskey, 800, climbing 2000.
Baron 3175 Sierra, friction 3175 Whiskey from Myers departure to contact. Climbing maintain 4000, turn left direct Lakeland.
4000, direct Lakeland, suppose.
Direct, Lakeland, enter.
That's a 358.
I have a 004.
004. I saw 358 somewhere, but
In your dreams. They're purring.
she's a purring. It's nice and cool. I mean, look at
the cold weather.
that manifold pressure. Let's start bringing some of this fuel back, because we need every drop we can get. Or we get crushed by the winds. 122 knot ground speed, and we got 150 knot, 48 knot indicated airspeed.
Is it going to scream at us the whole time?
No, as soon as we level off, I pull the power back. That should change.
3175 Whiskey, contact Miami Center 127.2. Good morning.
27-2, good morning, 75 Whiskey. Miami Center, bearing 3175, Whiskey level off 4000, direct Lakeland.
Number 75 Whiskey, after Lakeland, proceed. After Lakeland, join Victor 7 to Cross City, rest of route is unchanged.
3018, 240 Echo Romeo.
Victor 7. Enter, we're going to get off across city. Enter, now we got Victor 7, Cross City. Correct. Alright, let's pull the power back. So far I brought the power back to 20 inches manifold pressure.
Miami Center,
But the RPM is back to 22 inches.
8,000.
And we're down to 10.5 gallons a side. That's going to get us our destination with 2 gallons a side. Still not enough. We need to do better than that.
Get up.
Now the winds are the worst here.
Kilo Whiskey X-ray 61 Miami
Maybe
Center,
we
Roger,
can make
full
it up.
So we should make up some a little later. But we're also we're not done experimenting with this picture knob yet. I'm going to wait till we get our final altitude.
So what do we need to have aside in order for us to land?
So what I'm looking for personally is I'm looking for at least 45 minutes of fuel when we land. So if we're burning 20 gallons total, then I'm looking for 45 minutes of that, right? 3/4 of that. So it means I'd be looking for like 17 gallons, 17 and a half gallons is what I'd be looking for.
So this should say 30, rough. I mean,
No,
32.
no. It should say 17. This is the total fuel. So I just brought us back to lean of peak setting. Now the lean of peak setting has slowed us down, but it's also brought us up to 6 gallons
Falcon 752
out of destination.
Charlie, Miami Center, good morning.
So we've made up half of it, but these winds are still killing us right now because we're down to 108 knots. So if you come to the POH and you look at cruise power settings and you look at 6,000 feet, actually we're at 4,000 feet right now, standard day, it figures that at 9 gallons, at 20 inches of manifold pressure and 2100 RPM, should be burning about 9 gallons and getting 140 indicated, 148 true.
Direct Lakeland, 2 Juliet Charlie.
But we're more
Good morning, this is Alec 127 Medevac. We are steady
at 2200 RPM.
2,000 feet, heading 090.
Airlink
So
127
that
Miami
puts us,
Center, climb and maintain flight level
really that shows
180.
10 and a half.
Maintain flight level 1.
So either way we're actually below both of those
180, sorry.
Airlink
those
127
settings, but
level
so's our
180,
speeds.
90 time, thank you.
Because we're going to lean
out
a
of
peak.
9,500, 10,000.
Hope these winds change. 105.
752 Juliet Miami Center,
So
Roger,
the winds
higher,
right
1 minute.
here are supposed to be
Allegiance
about 28
1342,
knots.
descend and maintain
Which I'd say is pretty accurate. If you add 28 to that, that's about 31. I'd say those are pretty accurate right now. So we have a bunch of upgrades to talk about. So the whole point of this flight to Arkansas, we're going to A&J Aviation. It's got to be one of the top avionics shops in the country. And it is such a good avionics shop that I am flying past countless avionics shops in Florida and in between to go to A&J. And this is now my third experience with upgrading avionics. And so what the process has taught me is that sometimes it's worth going a little bit out of your way for a quality shop. And A&J is that kind of shop. And so we're flying all the way to Arkansas because we want it done right. We want it done right the first time, on budget, and what more can you ask for but quality work. So, but one of the big upgrades that we're doing that I'm so excited about is we're putting in the JPI EDM 960. So for those who don't know what that is an engine gauge that'll sit right here, all digital, that will make all these old gauges go away. This will become nice and neat. Everything's on one here. Even my engine analyzer down here, that goes away. It all goes away, all in one box right here. Everything I need. It's going to clean up the panel, make it look so much neater, and then the accuracy of new updated digital gauges is going to be priceless. Another thing that I'm doing at the same time while we're doing the JPIs is we're adding SICE fuel senders. And so what that means is that there's floats inside the fuel tanks, like you've seen in cars or anything else. And those floats are what feed these gauges here. Well, we've decided to upgrade to the SICE because A, they're digital, B, they have a lifetime warranty. Yes, lifetime warranty.
Not limited.
Not limited, lifetime warranty. And they're accurate to within the 10th if programmed properly. 10th of a gallon. So that means my digital gauges will tell me how much fuel's in my tank to the 10th. And to give you an idea of why that's so critical and why it's worth the investment is, look right here, we just took off, okay? We've only used 11 gallons of fuel total, and yet this gauge is reading somewhere between a half and 3/4 full. This one's reading full. Clearly, these gauges are not accurate, and they sure aren't accurate within a 10th. So even if I go and I upgrade and put new overhauled gauges in here, they're still not going to be the same. It's just not going to have that level of accuracy. That's just not how they're designed. The resistive versus this digital technology and this day and age, you know, especially on a trip like this where every gallon is imperative. We need to know how much we have in there. I mean, this is the kind of flight that knowing how much fuel you have in your tank is just imperative. Another upgrade we have going on is we have ADS-B, as you all have known. I've had it for a long time now. But one of the things that people don't realize is that with ADS-B, you don't necessarily see all the traffic. You're dependent on the system. You're dependent on things being relayed. If you watch our video going to Oshkosh, you've seen where traffic disappears and reappears. If you saw one of my more recent videos where I flew into Fort Lauderdale with ATC, the issues with ATC, you'll notice that when I was on approach, the traffic in front of me was there, then disappeared, and then reappeared on the traffic. Well, with active traffic, that goes away. And so even with ADS-B, active traffic is a must if you want the complete picture. ADS-B gives you a great picture, and I absolutely love it, but it's not the complete picture. And so between Fort Lauderdale and Oshkosh and Sun and Fun and being in all these places with a lot of traffic, I want the complete picture. So we've decided to upgrade to the Avionics active traffic. And then another upgrade we have is, so as some of you may know, I do some flying in Citation jets. And for those who fly jets know that, in fact, or if you've been in the military, right, the military started using AOAs, angle of attack indicators. And the Navy started using it first back in the 70s, I believe it was. 60s or 70s, they found that it is a lifesaver for their pilots, and because they were having too many accidents of the pilots trying to come around to land on the carriers. And then the Air Force ended up adopting it like 10 years later. And of course, if you get fly around in jets, most jets have an AOA indicator as well. So because I've been doing some flying in these airplanes, I've learned to appreciate and see the value of them. So we are actually adding the Alpha Systems AOA. So we will have a little AOA indicator sitting up here. And basically what that does, the gist of it is it lets you know what your angle of attack is, because an airplane can stall at any speed. A speed is not an indicator of when the wings can stop producing lift. And it's all about recording your angle of attack. And you can actually be going straight down and stall the airplane where the wings no longer produce lift. It's a concept that I had a hard time understanding how that was possible, but it's all about the wind over the wings, not necessarily your angle relative to the ground.
So I will say that nobody's ever seen straighter knobs in this plane.
No, one thing I do not do is pull the power back. That's for sure. So based on our current power settings, our endurance is 7.5 hours at this point. And we've already been in the air for 30 minutes. So that's an 8-hour
2502.
Fuel endurance.
Perch 118.5.
Think about that for a minute.
502.
8-hour fuel endurance.
Can I drive?
313.
I have your call sign as 6206.
26 opposed to 280.
6206 Hotel, affirmative.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask for higher. Tampa approach, Baron 3175 whiskey request.
75 whiskey, say request.
I'd like to put 6,000 on request for Tampa whiskey.
That's 75 whiskey, I have your request, maintain 4,000.
Maintaining 4,000 Tampa whiskey. So looking here, we have the winds are more of a direct head-on wind. I think if we get higher, it'll come more off of our left. Right, which should in turn give us a higher ground speed.
75 whiskey, turn 10 degrees right, climb and maintain 6,000.
10 right and climb maintain 6,000 Tampa whiskey. And then 15 knots, so we're already picking up some ground speed and we're gaining some gallons. This is definitely getting in our favor. So we've made up a little bit of fuel. We're up to it keeps varying between 6 and 7 gallons at our destination. Still got 10 more gallons we need to make up. Of course, that's going to be dependent on the winds.
914 Zulu Jack approach California.
So we've experimented with the power settings and the fuel. I brought it to lean a peak. Actually had it even more lean a peak, but that brought my airspeed down so much that was making the trip even longer than anticipated. So as of right now, we've been in the air for 55 minutes, and it's still saying we got 6 hours and 9 minutes to go. So that's 7 hours at this point. So what I started doing is I crept a little more fuel in, so we weren't quite lean a peak, to make up a little bit of indicated airspeed, and in turn, that's kept our nautical miles per gallon. It's still around almost 7 mark. To bring some of that down, and I'm anticipating that when we get closer, the winds will be a little less in our face, and hopefully they won't hurt as bad as they're hurting now, and we can manage to squeeze this out. But at this point, it's really an unknown. We don't know if we're going to be able to make it. I do have a planned stop that I planned initially in case we couldn't make this, which is about 100 nautical miles short of our destination, because if we do have to stop, then there's no point in waiting until we're 50 miles out. We might as well just stop at 100 miles out and then go ahead and get the fuel. But we're going to see if we can avoid that stop. So never plan a trip like this, no matter how nice the weather is or isn't, without having an out. So going into this, we're using ForeFlight. I do all my planning with ForeFlight, and ForeFlight does an amazing job. And typically, it's pretty much spot on when it says how much fuel I'm going to burn when I'm going somewhere. I really never have it off by any significant amount. That's worth noting. And so, because I have the performance package, and I can put in it already has in there. Actually, I didn't even put it in the different power settings. That's what we're going by to let us know if we can indeed make this trip. So you can see in the default setting, it shows 146 gallons. But then if I change the power settings to bring it back to 2,300 RPMs. It says we need 136. Well, that's still not enough. And then it shows if we bring the power back to 2,200 RPMs, that brings us down to 127, which is about what we're at right now based on this. And then it says if we bring it back to 2,100 RPM, that should be 120 gallons. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for, is to be able to follow that. So we are about 3.5 hours into our flight.
775 on top, Atlanta Roger.
Still got 3 hours to go. If you look at our fuel, we started off, we're going to have 5 gallons at our destination. That's now increased to 15 and a half, 15.3 gallons out of destination. So we are definitely on track to be able to make this without a fuel stop. It was looking a little sketchy there for a while. We were a little concerned about it, but we are still low. We were 6,000 feet. That's where the winds are the lowest. And looking at the nav log on ForeFlight, it looks like we're benefiting from a little better winds than forecasted, because it was forecasting at 400 miles from our destination. We would have a ground speed of 134 knots, and right now it's 130, it's bouncing between 138 and 141. So we are benefiting from that, and it looks like ForeFlight is going to be pretty spot on to what the actual is going to be. So this is working out pretty good. Now it is pretty cold outside. It is about 26 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about -4 degrees Celsius, and unfortunately, because we're so tight on fuel, we can't run the heater because the heater burns 2 gallons an hour, and we're so tight, we need that fuel. So we're all wrapped up in sweaters and blankets and multiple layers, and poor Kim here is being a trooper because I know she's dying even more than I am. So hopefully everything continues as forecasted, and then we'll be able to do this. We will have taken the Baron to its limits and taken ourselves to our limits as well. I'm not sure who's getting closer to its limits, the Baron or the crew, but the Baron is definitely more than capable. So we'll check back in a little bit. Well, we're 6 hours into our flight. We've got about another 30, just a little over 30 minutes to go. We're 68 nautical miles from our destination. And you can see we are going to land with a little over 13.5 gallons.
Number 36 Romeo, contact Little Rock approach 119.5.
Which gives us exactly 45 minutes fuel reserve. So far it's looking like this plan has worked out just as we expected, just perfect.
Just by the skin of our teeth.
Now, if the weather wasn't a day like today, then this wouldn't be an option. There's no way I would do this. It would be, we'd be stopping for fuel. We would have planned a fuel stop and actually flew faster and not pulled the power back.
3175 Whiskey, contact Razorback approach 126.6.
126.6 today, San Bose. Razorback approach, Baron 3175 Whiskey 6000.
Baron 3175 Whiskey, Razorback, expect the visual approach from 18, advising you of the weather at Springdale.
Expect the visual for 18, and we have the weather for Springdale for 75 Whiskey. Alright, the shade is giving us a low fuel warning.
Right, direct Euro show, Barry 45.
You can see the shade is actually feeding the information to the Avionics. So you can see that we still have a range of 135 nautical miles, but saying we have an endurance of an hour still.
Maintain 15,000.
At this point, we are only 36 miles from our destination. We are less than 18 minutes away.
It's funny that when we did that flight back and we had 18 reserve and I was freaking out, even though we were like 2 minutes away from PGD.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just like, meh, we're good.
And here you can see this, again, another reason why I'm changing these gauges out, is this whole time they haven't matched. Now, the thing about fuel gauges is that they only have to be accurate when they're at empty. So you can see here that this gauge is starting to catch up to this gauge.
Bravo tail contact, Rogers Tower 1.37.
I tend to think this is the more accurate gauge because it's actually the one that showed full initially. And so I think this one's always been lower, but now you can see they're coming up, and they'll probably be pretty accurate when they are at zero. So it is still below zero. It is -2 degrees Celsius, or about 26 degrees Fahrenheit. Way cold for us.
Hence the reason why I'm so quiet.
Oh, well, maybe we gotta keep it cold a little more often.
Oh.
Major. I'll,
75 whiskey to the maintain 3,000.
3,000 Senpai whiskey. Vector.
We're 75 whiskey to Springdale Airport's 10 o'clock, 5 miles.
Airport in sight, Senpai whiskey.
5 whiskey, roger. Cleared visual approach runway 18. There is traffic, 11 o'clock, 5 miles southeast bound to Medevac at 2,200. I guess the tower's talking to him.
Roger that, I'll be looking.
5 whiskey, cleared visual approach runway 18. Contact tower 118.2. Good day.
Clear the visual of a tower. Good day, Senpai whiskey.
3668, turn right.
Tower, citation, Tower Baron 3175, whiskey on the visual for 18, no joy in traffic.
Baron 3175, Sierra Whiskey, Springdale Tower, runway 18, cleared to land, winds are 240 at 11, gust 18.
I've got traffic.
And that traffic that you're looking for is at your 10 o'clock for about 2.5 to 3 miles southeast bound, 2,200 feet.
Got him?
Yeah, I've got him.
All right, roger that. Clear land 18, and we have traffic on site, Senpai whiskey.
You heard Medevac and you.
Yeah, it put me
You
right
your
in.
citation.
It put me right into that mode. I couldn't get out of it. You're going down. All right, we got 3 green, and guess what I have in my mirror? I got a mirror again. I got a mirror again.
I got my mirror fixed.
500.
It's off the right?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Wind. Fun. Welcome to
Springdale.
Springdale. We landed. We made it in, what was our time? What's the total time? Come on.
Oh, stop it.
This is a record time.
6:39.
Quebec, holding short of runway
6
18.
hours and
2819 Quebec, Springdale
minutes.
Tower, runway 18, cleared for takeoff.
Killing it.
That is a record for me and a piston for sure.
The record for my bladder.
Oh, your bladder.
For my sanity.
Sorry, my bladder.
I mean, that's basically a red eye.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a red eye.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this flight and this video. We definitely took the Baron to its max range and definitely took us to our max range as well. Our limitations. As always, guys, you like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Biggest compliment we can receive is your subscription to our channel. And be sure to hit that bell and hit all for notifications so you find out when things like this are happening. So it's exciting times. Look forward to all these upgrades. So anyhow, guys, until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
All right, I need a high five on that one. Wow, good job. Holy crap.